Hey guys, Steve from Game Changing Persuasion. I want to talk to you about what's happening in the trades industry now. And if you're in a trade, you know what I'm talking about. It's the race to the bottom. It's the constant undercutting of each other that devalues the product, the service, devalues us as the tradespeople, doesn't give the client what they want, reduces our margins. You end up working harder and harder for less and less, which skyrockets the stress levels as well. And it's not why you got into business. You know what I mean? Like, we're craftsmen, and I think we need to start looking at things differently. In a few different ways, which I want to go into but I want to go into it with you, right? So, as you're probably aware, the prices in the trade industry are going down and down, and strangely, the client still thinks they're getting ripped off and is, I don't know, maybe getting less of an idea of what things cost. And I want to go into what I think is happening there, and then how I think we actually make a difference. How do you change that? So what I have seen, so I've worked over the last 25 years of my my professional life, I've either worked in my trade within fire protection or sold stuff. So I've worked in sales positions across different industries, and I now work as a sales trainer, right? So I teach business owners and salespeople how to sell. And what I see in the trade industry is this race to the bottom. And then in the training that I'm doing with other businesses in other industries, like, the one thing that always comes up in sales, if you're selling on price, you don't know how to sell. Like, that's the last thing you should be moving on. There's so many other ways we can attack this. But the problem is, in the trades or construction industry, is that we end up indoctrinated. And what I mean by that is that there's like certain beliefs, a bit stretched out, but I hope you can see that. There's certain beliefs that keep perpetuating within our industry, within the trade industry, that we've done it the way it's this way because it's always been done that way. That doesn't mean there's a different way. Then I think the best way to look at this is to see what's working in other industries. And there's so many strategies out there that can help us. And changing the way we look at things will then change the things that we look at, right? So what's been happening is that we've been indoctrinated. We keep doing things the same way. What I'm going to suggest to you is we change that, and you become more of a creator of your circumstances, right? So here we're being reactive. We're doing things the way they've been done. We're just trying to do more with less at a lower cost, and just beat everyone on cost or on price, sorry. And I understand there's structures within the industry that have kind of forced us into that predicament, right? Over time, there are ways to change that. And when you change the way you think about things, and you change the way you operate, your business changes, and you start changing the course of action, which will get you different results. So here is being much more proactive, here is being much more reactive, right? Now, the main three problems that I see in the industry is, as I mentioned, there's constant undercutting. So everyone is competing on price. And obviously you keep doing that, and it's just a race to the bottom. And it's stressing so many of us out. And we're craftsmen. We deserve to get paid more. We deserve to be valued at a higher level. But the way that happens is it's got to start with you. You've got to start valuing yourself, and then valuing the product and service you deliver, valuing the people that work around you, and then that comes through in what you do and enables you to charge more. So there's constant undercutting. There's also, how do we put it, say, headaches with staff. You know, it's getting people to work efficiently, to perform at a certain level, having your staff engaged in a way that they want to work more and more efficiently and put more into their job. And having a business set up in a way that it invigorates the staff as well, so that you've got staff that you enjoy working with, that work hard and make you money, and you make them money, and you're all on one mission. And then finally, like, business owners like yourself are just working too much. You know what I mean? Like, there's no balance. Let's put too many hours. That's hours, right? Working too many hours of day, you know? Like, so you're working all day, and then you go home and you're doing paperwork. You're managing staff all day, and then you're going home to catch up the stuff that you didn't get to do because you were managing. Maybe you're still on the tools, and then you've got to do your invoicing or whatever of a night. But however you're doing it, most of us are working way too much. And there's ways around it. And what I find here is this can contribute to everything else. And obviously they all kind of interweave. But when you're spending so much time on your business, keeping the doors open, keeping the money in so you can look after your family, two things happen. You don't get to step out and have a look at the big picture, but you also don't get to have that time to look into other ways to improve this present situation. And that's what I'm all about. Like, I am obsessed with how to persuade people, how to be influential, how to get more out of myself, how to get more out of the day, and what makes people tick. Like, that's just me, right? Plus, so what I see now is that within the trades industries, you don't have time for that focus. So now I'm putting that focus into the trade industry, because what we need to do is we need to move away from this undercutting, and you want people to pay more for you, right? Because people want to work with you. They want your business to do the job, and they will pay more for that because of the value that they see they're getting back from you. You're turning into a highly valued tradesperson. So, and to do that, there's certain things we could do there. We also want to get rid of these headaches with the staff. You want engaged staff. So you want the guys working for you to be into what they're doing, working together as a cohesive team, enjoying what they're doing, and you've got to know how to influence them and motivate them, right? And then finally, up here, instead of just working so many hours probably on stuff that you don't enjoy doing, because you don't enjoy it, you're not great at it. So balance and focus. So you get more of that work-life balance. Now, I do think balance to a certain extent is a fallacy. You know, like when you're at work, you're completely into work. At the same time, when you're at home, be completely into your family or your fun or whatever you're doing. But getting a fair amount of balance of each, right? So you get some family time in, quality family time, you get some fun, you get to follow the hobbies or sports or whatever interest you have that really feed your soul, so you're better at this when you need to work throughout the day. And then focusing on the things that you want to do and the things you're good at. That's where you get the real power. Now, how do we do this, you ask? That's a very good question. So, over here with this whole undercutting thing, like I said, I've done a whole lot of sales. And when you sell on price, it's because you don't know how to sell. And the problem is tradespeople don't see themselves as salespeople. Salespeople bring business in. That's all it is, right? That we solve problems and people pay us for solving those problems. It's not about being that fast-talking, manipulative person that's going to say anything just to get the business. That's bad sales, right? That's people that lack the sales skills, so they're trying to make it up in other areas. When you have authentic sales skills, and all it is being able to uncover someone's problems, and if you can help them with it, you help them with it. So the solutions here I see is to have a sales process. And you know what? To do that, you need some sales skills. Now, before either of those happen, you need to change your mindset. And part of that is seeing yourself as a salesperson. I want to stress, sales has a bad name, right? So many people, and understandably, so many people see it as, someone interrupting your day and just pushing something on you that you don't want. That's not sales, right? True sales is being able to help people out. It's true service. Now, when you have a highly valued trade where you can build things and fix things and add true value there, when you can solve problems and serve people, and you do that with a high level of skill, you put those two together, you will always have business and you'll have plenty of clients that you want to work with. And that's the goal for this whole program. In doing that, you're going to need your staff members, the other tradies, to go out there and provide as high a level of service and quality of construction as you do. To do that, you need to engage staff. To engage your staff, you need to understand the the different types, that says types by the way, the different types of people are out there. So yes, everyone's different, but there are commonalities. There's certain, let's say, personality types, or personality types can be a bit limiting, and that's the way it's traditionally been said, but more, there are types of people. Let's just leave it at that, right? Types of people. When you know what makes, the makeup of a person, like the code behind how they're thinking, how they like to do things, how they like to be spoken to, what motivates them, where they're best positioned in a business. When you understand the code behind someone, you can do that. So you've got the right people working in the right jobs. You're hiring the right people to work with you that complement what you're doing and complement each other. Then when you're doing that, you know how to talk to those people in the way that is respectful and they like to be spoken to. That gets them more engaged. That gets them motivated. You also want to look at setting things up so you have alignment throughout your business. And that is where you're all heading on the same path, so that they serve your business and your business serves them as well. You know, it's a cohesive relationship, which then makes it an enjoyable relationship, and that just builds momentum. So to do that, you need to learn about people. So you put people in the right place, structure the business so that everyone's on the same page, and then when you bring on new people, you know, like I said, you know where to put the right people in the right places. So we work on that. Then you're looking at how do you get more balance and focus? A few things I want to do here. Again, it's changing your mindset. Mindset is so important and is so often glossed over, and especially in the trades and construction industries. I don't think anyone's really nailed down what it is, so they don't really know what it is. So most people just push it to the side or think it doesn't matter that much. Like I'm telling you, it's the core of everything, right? It's the core of this whole thing, because the thinking that got you to where you are now will not get you to that next level. You need to change your thinking. Well, how do you change your thinking? Well, so you need to start to learn about mindset and what it is and how it's made up, and then where you're at. And then, okay, I know I'm here. This is how I get to there. So it can almost give you a ladder of what's next for you. And when you open up your thinking, then you open up the actions that you do. When you're performing better actions, then you're getting better results. Get better results, get valued more highly, get paid more, live a better life. You see the flow on here. So within this, we go into productivity, right? Studied productivity and been a bit obsessed with it for ages. What I found out is amongst all the high performers I could find any information on, when you bring it all together, there's 10 habits that are common across a lot of them. They may not implement all 10 habits, and they may not all have those 10 habits, but what I found is there's 10 things that people are doing. When you commit these things to habit, so it's your day in, day out, because there's some great saying, and I'm going to butcher, but excellence is not, it's not a one big act. It's the day in, day out, quite often boring things you're doing that add up, that then build up to this result, where before you know it, you're really enjoying your life, getting the results you want, and you're doing stuff that you really enjoy. So it's making those 10 habits habitual, and then making sure you have the right mindset that you can implement that, and having a framework that keeps you focused on the most important things, because you have your everyday whirlwind of a business. And if that's all you're focusing on and that's running well and you only focus on that, well, then you can maintain that well. But if you want to improve that and you want to grow that, well, then there needs to be things outside that you're focusing on that then feed into that and make that better. When they're just working too much on the business, they're so stuck in that business, they can't step out and see the forest through the trees and see what's going on, and then also work on something outside that will help that. So you can improve something here that then inject that into the business, and the business runs better. So you need to have some type of a framework that helps you execute that, so that you're not just doing 1,000 things. When you sit down to work or you go out for your day, you know what you've got to work on, and you're working on the most important tasks that you enjoy working on, that you're good at as well. So I hope that gives you some insight as to how we stop this race to the bottom, because it's not going to happen overnight. Like, it didn't start overnight. We're not going to fix it overnight. But if you're not doing things to fix it now, it's not going to be fixed in 3, 6, 9, 12 months, right? But when you have an overarching framework and you know what to work on and you start at your mindset, change the way you look at things, and you know how you're doing that. Sometimes you can have, level up in mindset, but it just kind of happens. You don't really know what happened. When you can unpack that and go, okay, this is what it is. This is how I leveled up. And then I take all these different actions, get better results. Then I want to go to the next level, then you know what to do. So it's like a ladder of thinking. And then you can implement these other strategies that then flow on from there. So I'm gonna break this down and go into depth into these different areas over the subsequent videos to this. So stay tuned. I trust that's of value. And get in touch if you've got any questions or comments. Thanks.